Namaste everyone. So tech at your fingertips for smart living is no more a concept but a reality that we are now living in, or a reality that is being shaped by technology. And right away from the devices that connect seamlessly to the homes that think for us, technology is redefining the way we are living smart, and that is exactly our next section, the panel discussion on the tech at your fingertips for smart living. And we have got an eminent panel of expert speakers from across the nation talking with us. So let me take a moment to be introducing our wonderful panel who would be leading this session on the topic tech at your fingertips for smart living. Moderating our session is Ms. Nitha, the Chief Information Security Officer at Muthoot Capital Services Limited, a visionary in cybersecurity and risk management, ensuring digital resilience in today's fast evolving landscape. Ms. Nitha, welcome to you. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And joining her, we have Mr. Balakrishnan, the Executive Director at Geojit Financial Services Limited, whose leadership in financial innovation and digital transformation has revolutionized the investment solutions. Thank you so much, Mr. Balakrishnan, for joining with us. We also have Mr. Shaurya, an accomplished leader in data analytics and cloud, whose deep expertise in leveraging cutting-edge technologies is shaping the future of digital solutions. Thank you so much, Mr. Shaurya, for joining with us. It's a great privilege to have you. And completing the panel, we have Ms. Sarika Nair, an accomplished HR leader at the IBM Kochi, recognized as a young HR leader by TAPAI and a LinkedIn top HR leadership voice dedicated to building positive people and business capabilities. With that, I'm handing over the charge to our wonderful moderator, Ms. Nitha. We're all excited to listen what you all have got to bring onto the table. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to all for the panel discussion on tech at your fingertips for smart living. We are here in a digital era where no longer a separate entity but an integral part, it has become an integral part of our daily experience. We are here to explore how technology is transforming our day-to-day lives, making it more convenient, efficient, and connected. So smart living. So what is smart living? It connects with all our, starting from our smart homes, our wearables, connecting our health, then AI, as well as the IoT devices. So I'm Nitha, CISO of Muthoot Capital Service Limited. I'm here to deliver how the integration is impacting the key areas of our lives, particularly through the terms of the three different domains like finance, risk, and HR. So today we have the privilege of hearing from the leading experts from various industries. We will explore how emerging technologies are sharpening our homes, workplaces, and cities, offering both opportunities and challenges. Let me introduce our esteemed panelists. We are fortunate to have a distinguished panel with us today, Mr. A. Balakrishnan, a leader of the financial service sector, the man who spearheaded Geojit transformation into a tech-driven financial service firm. He has been with Geojit Financial Service Limited for 27 years, starting as a CTO in 1988 and rising to Executive Director. 1998. Yeah, so starting from 1998, from last 27 years, he is from Geojit Service Limited. I welcome you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Sarika Nair, the esteemed head of human resource at IBM Kochi. Is a passionate HR professional with nearly 15 years of multinational experience. She holds an Ivy League certification in executive leadership from Cornell University, and has won the HR award from TAPI. Welcome you, Sarika. And finally, we have Shaurya Agrawal, an expert in risk management, who is the Director of Data and Analytics at PwC India. With over 20 years of experience, he has advised CROs and CFOs at top financial institutions in US, UK, Canada, and India on analytics and AI ML, deep learning, and LLMS, and Gen AI as well. Welcome, you, sir. So, sir, you would have imagined a situation in 1990s when we want to book a ticket, we will be standing in a long queue waiting for a lot of hours to book a ticket. Now, it's in our fingertips. We have the smartphones in our hand. We can book the ticket and we can know where the train is, and the real time, the journey of us can be tracked in our phone. So, Balakrishnan sir, I have a question to you. Like, could you take us through how technology evolved from basic computing to today's hyper-connected world? What were some key turning points in the evolution of handheld devices and their computing power? From your experience, what was the most revolutionary tech shift you have witnessed in the last decade?
Thank you, Nitha. Good afternoon to each one of you. Happy to meet all of you, the brilliant students of the institution. The question is actually how the technology evolved and created a wonderful life for us. In one single answer is the development of communication technology that actually brought us to this kind of a emerging trend. When I started, give me 2 minutes and complete. When I started there, the telecom was a nightmare actually. When we applied, when we all went from village to colleges and all, unlike you, we applied for a telephone in India, and it took 8 years to get a telephone at home. I still remember it was a celebration at home to got a phone. Did you celebrate a phone? No. Probably a new device or Apple phone you may celebrate for a. So that was the kind of life we had. Similarly, when I took the career in technology side, we used to create VSAT network for connecting different locations. It was again, the bandwidth we used to get is when we used to get a bandwidth of 15 kbps. That is what we used to connect. And the modem, dial-up modems, all those things were the methodology of connecting. Today, we all are connected through the internet, thanks to the internet revolution. And from 2000 onwards, the internet is getting relatively free. Communication is virtually at zero cost or near zero cost. So you are connecting devices. Another area which, as moderator said, the power of computing. I remember the desktop I used with the 32 KB RAM, 32 KB RAM, and a floppy disk. I still keep that 8-inch floppy drive. I used to use my project on 8-inch floppy. I am still keeping for generations to see how the storage and the capacity of the storage evolved. Today, unlimited memory, unlimited computing power. In the cloud, you are talking about serverless computing and all. Created an ecosystem for developing new applications, and which created a new life. So the ticket booking, and not only ticket booking, everything is now at your fingertip. Like a student, when I was in Kerala University campus, there was something called the Chellan for examination fee. We used to in the queue for 3 to 4 hours. And the bank, the SBI was the only counter available. Adamant bankers, they used to harass all the students. Today it is not like that. I don't know whether you are remitting fee. Have you ever seen a bank? Have you ever seen a post office? Have you ever seen any kind of such institution. It was not our life. So we are actually fortunate, probably we both are fortunate. We have seen both sides. We could actually see both sides of and participate in this technology evolution. Now, there is every time when the technology evolved, initially it started with industry revolution, electricity and communication, etc. Those all actually created, and years of gap was there in between. Today there is no such gap. Every third month, you are actually seeing a technology change. So the application development framework has been changing on a minute by minute. Similarly, the capacity of the device, the operating system, everything is actually changing at a rapid, and also you are getting it on a very rapid pace. There is no geographical gap between the advanced country and the country like a developing country or something like that. And we are actually leap forwarding to the technology use. Then every event in the history, if you look into it, every evolution, technology evolution has happened on a crisis. First World War, Second World War, and latest one is COVID. COVID actually created a much more new environment for the technology. So this year is probably we are celebrating with the AI and ChatGPT and all. It will again create a new thing. So that is how the technology evolved, and it is we are actually seeing the tip of the iceberg.
Thank you, sir. So now, Sarika. So previously, when I joined first in my organization, when we used to have we used to connect to our teammates through phones and all. And now to have a physical meeting also, it was very difficult from different locations. But nowadays, actually through the online platforms like Teams and all, we can connect with our colleagues and we can have a meeting from any countries as well. So my question is like, can you share specific example of how technology has both positively and negatively influenced workplace culture and employees' engagement, focusing on balance between connectivity and work-life balance?
Sure. Thank you so much for the question. And looking at the group of students who will be the future professionals of next generation, right? This question is very valid. But the point that I would make, positive or negative, would be out of my experience. You guys would definitely get into the stream of it, and you'll find out more positive and negative items by your own. But with the experience, I would say the positive aspect of the entire technology that has advanced is flexibility for sure. The easiness that Balakrishnan sir was mentioning, the easiness that you guys are in, that is actually the positive side of it. But the negative side that I have experienced is burnout, right? The extravagance of informations that you guys have, the lack of prioritization to see which one is priority. I don't know how many of you follow Dave Ulrich. He is the new father of HR, human resources is what is called. He was recently quoted an article in LinkedIn saying proliferation and prioritization. You can actually run with the pace of AI and whatever the trends are that, and just with the crowd you can go with it. But what to prioritize and how to get rid of the crowd, do you want to stand out of the crowd, is up to you. So that I would coin as the positive and negativity. Positivity is of course the flexibility that you guys are enjoying. And just to go back to my days in 2019 when COVID hit, we were in the HR phase, and the engagement activities, the recruitment, everything was going, with a physical, presence of HR, calling the candidates for an interview. Who is sitting in front of you. The person's abilities by the look of it. The body language would all, appear. But suddenly things change and business had to run, right? The show must go on. So that's the point we shifted to the online platforms, and Teams and all are very new, things, and Slack and all is a very new things. The earlier times was WebEx, I think, right? I mean, WebEx was the, time when we had COVID. So all those flexibilities that we have in our times now, and the burnout that we see, I think those are the positive and negative of technology, to make it short.
That's correct. So next to Shaurya. So like Now it's a smart world. Everything is in our fingertips. So suppose there is a smart refrigerator. So it's somebody has hacked it, not for the changing the temperature, but like to check enter into our like our home network and to track our banking, take our banking credentials. So based on that, what are the top cybersecurity risks associated with smart technology adoption in everyday life, both in our home as well as in workplace? And how can individual and business mitigate these risks?
That's a really good question, actually. But first of all, thank you everybody for attending this. I see all the eyes are open. Everybody's looking in this direction. That's pretty awesome. Nobody's on their phone. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. And thank you for such an astute panel here. So when we think about risk and cybersecurity and all that, first of all, how many of us have watched movies before Netflix happened on the internet? 2 or 3 people. Okay, there used to be a time it used to be problematic. I'm just going to say that. So the thing is awareness. Awareness is the biggest problem. Awareness is the biggest risk. My father, who was a decorated engineer, who won gold medals, invented. Yeah, that was just me. So he didn't really suffice to say that he was a smart guy. Till his death, he was confused about left click or right click on a mouse. Not joking. So he used to program on card readers. Do you guys know what they are? I promise you wouldn't have seen it. Sir would have at least heard of them, right? Card readers? Card readers? Card readers. You have? Yeah. So I was in school. My father's PhD thesis was on punched cards. And I remember an entire room was full of punched cards. Look it up, Google it. It's a lot of fun. So from there to today, where I can actually talk to my computer and write code, things have come a long way. But what has happened is that we keep accelerating things without putting the safety belts on. Right? It's just, hey, we had a horse-driven carriage. Today we have a Ferrari, but we forgot to put in the seat belts. Right? What are the seat belts? How many of us know how networking works? Right? Literally, how many of us know? And I am somebody who uses literally, not figuratively. So that's number one. Recognition of the fact that there may be gaps. Each time we buy a new shiny thing, each time we buy a new phone, we do go and explore all the features, right? So it's just that. Somehow what has happened is people don't find it cool or interesting to look under the hood. But check it out. I mean, it takes maybe 5 minutes to understand how networks work. You have ChatGPT. You have YouTube. You can't pretend that I have to study anymore. So that's number one. Number two is in an organization scenario, individuals. Look, for an individual, any hotel you check in, they will just nonchalantly take a picture of your passport or take a picture of your Aadhaar card. So your Aadhaar card now lives on somebody's phone rent-free. I'm not joking. That is very prevalent in India. We say that we borrowed it from whatever Social Security in the US. That's not how Social Security works in the US, by the way. Right? So individuals have to be slightly more careful. You don't give your house keys to everybody. Similarly, your passport, your Aadhaar card, your network password, whatever, all of that is kind of like your house keys. There are more doors today. So, just knowing about that is interesting. From an organization's perspective, I've seen the faster they move, the more secure they are. Right? There are organizations that take 6 months to decide which new best practice should we right? Should we implement? There we go. We have just opened a 6-month window for, in fact, I was working with a bank, a national bank, and they have this form, they have this web form where you can go and apply for a credit card. I am not joking, that form broke 3 times out of 4 when you apply. And when you call the bank, they say, just refresh the page and try again, it works. Obviously, the data leaked with that bank. Obviously, the data leaked. Because the faster you move, the better it is for organizations. So the way to avert risk is learn fast, grow fast, have that slightly startup kind of mentality and come out of the bureaucratic, vagaries that were there in the past. Right? So just learning fast is the best way. Did that answer the question? I don't know. I rambled quite a lot. I
Yes.
apologize.
So next, to Bala sir, we all use smartphones in our day-to-day life and we are connected to each others. So smartphone has become an extension of our lives. How this is impacted the way we work and socialize with communication so instant and data at our fingertips? Do you think it was improved our lives and created new challenges? What future innovation do you foresee in handheld technology and communication in next 5 years?
Next to 5 years, I can just spell it out, a Gartner prediction or something, but it is very difficult to predict the next to 5 years. But the smartphone is as good as a computer today. It is as powerful as a computer. It has a computing power, memory, it has storage, and also an operating system. You treat it as a computer. So it has all versatility of a computer. And since it is very compact and it is handheld, so people started deploying application for example, banking. In our case, capital market, 85% of our retail transactions are now routed via mobile interface. So that is how it is. And today, anything, your movie ticket, you can purchase, your Swiggy, your college fees, probably your faculty is giving you notes over WhatsApp or something like that, your PowerPoint presentation, everything is actually now coming through smartphone. So that way, if you look into it, it actually changed our life, and especially post-COVID, all your students actually when I'll tell you, the children with less than 3 years old can wonderfully use the smartphone. No one is actually need to teach them. I'll tell you one example. I am actually from a village, remote village of Kerala. We have some property over there. No one is there except the property. So we have coconut trees. So there is a group called Tenga Boys, Coconut Boys, Tenga Boys, which is I am booking them over the phone. They are not well versed with English. They know how to manage it. And when I reach there, because we have a time limitation, they are on time. They'll all pluck all the entire coconut, they cut it, and properly everything is done over the phone, and payment is also done by the smartphone. So you don't need a particular education to use the smartphone. That is the great thing about the smartphone. Therefore, it has a very huge social impact. Now, how you are purchasing things, even from a street vendor, you have a QR code or a Google Pay or something. That way, India is actually progressed well with the UPI interface and PCI, and you have wonderful. Your advertisement actually created a havoc in the city. So that way, it is actually a real forecast that is going to happen. There are also a lot of demerits on that. Your hand-eye coordination is losing. You have a lot of us. She said we are actually addicted to smartphone, which is I still read newspaper physically to avoid. I have all the subscription in my smartphone, but I don't use it just to keep my old habit of certain things. So this is something you also have to be careful with this device. Future it will be very light and it will be very compact, more powerful. Probably you may not require this kind of a hard devices. You will have soft devices, much more soft, like a paper thin device, and it will always connect it to the net, and some cloud provider will give you all the solutions. That could be one of the future. And then there are lot many applications coming in Gartner. I don't know whether you attended the last Gartner summit. Somebody was talking about the entire normally we buy dress for party, dress for college, school uniform, party wear, and at home, something like that. You only need a one or two pair of dress. It will self-clean it. The color will change according to the environment. And if you go to the party, the entire LED, through the LED mechanism, color and the attire will change. So that way the technology will give you a lot of new ideas, new things will come up. He's smiling because he's thinking about what sort of dress it is. Yeah. So that is how the technology works. And it can operate through a smartphone. See, the home devices, for example, you can connect all your devices to a single thing, and you can command, you can operate, and the Apple is coming out with the home solutions. Your AC will be on before 10 minutes of you enter into the room. All those things, configuration, that is how the life changes and the device changes. And tomorrow, then the side effect is ill health to the people, and lot of you don't know how to do things. I remember a few years back in Kochi airport there was a big power or a computing connectivity issue. No one could be issued the boarding bus. So you remember when I started traveling, it was a manually written boarding bus. So it is actually hold good in most of the areas. In Bangalore, they don't know how to write a ledger today. They don't know how to, in our accounts department, no one knows how to prepare a voucher. Because all are actually done by these smart solutions. So that way our certain capability will go, new capability will come. I don't know what will happen with the AR and AI which is coming in, which is already there, but I am sure that teachers, we may require only few teachers, they will morph to a different avatar and teach all the students. That also may happen. And I am seeing in our office, we are getting replaced with lower level staffs because of the RPA and other things. So you have to be prepared for all the ills and goods of the smart revolution of this technology.
Thank you, sir. So after COVID, I think most that work from home culture has started, maybe after COVID. Because during the COVID time, nobody was able to travel and come to the office and all. So, Sarika, so with remote working becoming a norm, how can HR ensure cyber security compliance among employees working from home? What are some innovative approaches to address the unique security challenge of remote work?
I think trust is the baseline of all the technology advancements that is there, right? So if you are advanced, for example, when the COVID hit and we all had to move to a laptop model, until then I think we were all using desktops and all that. And I don't know how many of you remember, I mean, in Info Park there was this, entire loading and unloading of desktops and keyboards and all that. During weekends everybody was taking their desktops and laptop keyboards and all that. So from there we shifted to laptops. And it was an one fine morning decision of the organization and the senior CEOs and all that. So all those had a question in the senior leadership to have privacy, right? Privacy is what I feel is privacy will be the collateral damage that happens with the technology advancements. That is undisputable, because what happens tomorrow can be predicted today. Right? So with the technologies that you have, with the advancements that you have, what may happen tomorrow is totally unpredictable. So I think trust is the baseline. And from an HR perspective, I would say assume each and every employee as a target. It's not that, people working with critical, job duties has to be warned or has to be taken monitoring especially. All employees are at risk, right? And all the employees must be a target in this. And when I say, cybersecurity is at risk, there also comes the adaptability of the newer generation. That's also a by inline factor that will go with this. When you are able to adapt to the technology that is there, it will also improve your trust to the organization. And we all, at least in IBM, we have the initial phase of onboarding to say BCG, Business Code of Conduct Guidelines. So that is our DNA. Maybe Shaurya would know, he was an ex-IBM. So if you had any, it cannot be a violation. It's just a thought that you might have, right? Okay, I mean, it's chalega, right? That single thought can lead to a termination in IBM. So that was BCG. Is actually our CEO Arun Krishna has, recently had a message on 2025 message. So his first point was integrity comes from within, right? So I would say integrity and trust is the baseline of getting into a risk factor with the advancement of technology.
Thank you. That's true. So now it's the digital world. Everything is like AI and Gen AI. So Shaurya, so what are the biggest cybersecurity threats individuals and business should be aware of? How can we strike a balance between convenience and privacy? What should users take to protect themselves in an increasing digital world?
So just so I understand the question correctly, AI, ML, Gen AI, what are the risks we're seeing and how can we adapt, right? So I think the kids would be able to answer this better. First of all, sir, we will always need more teachers. We will always need better teachers. I apologize, but we need more teachers. From a Gen AI perspective, right, the typical discussions I keep hearing is that, oh, workers will be removed. Workers will no longer be needed, right? But when you think about it for 30 seconds, right, let's boil it down to the simplest use case, okay? There's a exam today, and let's say all of you have to appear for that exam. Who wins in that exam, right? If everybody can solve the same questions, they all get the same marks, right? So you will have to figure out a competitive advantage, right? So if I gave ChatGPT to all of you, and ChatGPT could give all the answers, who wins? Nobody does, right? Everybody will score exactly the average. So where is the competitive advantage? Competitive advantage lies in what Gen AI cannot do. Whether it is an individual or whether it is a business, you have to constantly think, all right, I have Gen AI. Great, right? Now what? So typically when I see Gen AI being used, it's either a situation where the chatbots, these days we are talking about automated agentic frameworks and so on, right? Agentic AI, Project Stargate just started like $500 billion. That's more than the GDP of like 10 countries together. So all these fun, fancy things are there. But remember that every business can do it. So where's your competitive advantage? If every business can do it, that basically means you're stagnating, you're plateauing, right? And in a capital society, the one fact that's always true is inflation. Money will lose its value over time, no matter what happens, right? Which means it gets riskier over time, no matter what happens. So if you stagnate, you die. It's that simple. So you have to now figure out, what is it that I can do that ChatGPT can't yet do? Right? And that's your whatever 2, 3 years, 5 years of competitive edge. And we all have to work towards it. And you know the best part, because the best implementations I've seen is where they embrace the variety, the diversity, the opinions. Right? There's a fantastic It used to be on TikTok, but it's also on YouTube. It's subway takes. So this guy sits in a New York subway train and asks random passengers, "Hey, what's your take?" And you get the most random answers. Now, if we can mine those random opinions, ChatGPT is standardized. Everything's standardized. So it gives you a new playing field. But if you can go beyond, one step beyond, we win. Right? Individuals win and corporations win. So that's the big, and the risk again is not thinking differently, just relying on ChatGPT. Anna, that becomes a problem, right?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
sure.
2 years back, we invited Devashish Chatterjee, IIM chairman, for a session on for our internal audit. He was actually talking about the same thing what you have mentioned. And interestingly, he coined the different synergy to AI. You know, there is a natural intelligence. We all have natural intelligence. AI is not a substitute for natural intelligence, but it is a substitute for natural stupidity. That is what we are actually, if you take the acronym, natural, artificial, intelligence and stupidity, that is how actually it's coined. It was 2 years back. Now, another thing is, if any time when the technology changes, we all were worried about these jobs replaced. It has been when I was a student, I was against computer. I went for the strike along with my fellow students. When computerization started, this will create a job problem. But fortunately, I learned computer science after that. Then I realized that it was a stupid thing what I have done when I was a student. Similarly, because you do not know what exactly happening with the technology. Technology is not a substitute for our natural intelligence and natural capability. So, but it can create wonderful ripples in our life. That is where actually we have to be selective and we have to be creative on this particular thing. And the job may change, the quality of the job, the methodology of execution, everything will change over a period of time. So that is because of technology, and technology will give process efficiency. It will help us to create new products. It will help us to reach new geography. It will help us to reduce the price of a commodity or something, or logistics, etc. So that is how the technology will be useful. I am sure that all these things also will help us in further improving our social life, etc. However, we have to be careful about ourselves and also to the larger society. It is still in India, the rural India is, of course, they know how to use mobile phone, but they have basic things. They don't have. They are still, we are not good in our solution for the poverty. They need basic, some of you must be studying the management. You know that basic needs, that is still under, they have a lot many underprivileged people in our country. So we should not be against them. Then they will kill all these things. That is how the revolution started. So therefore we have to be really careful. We have to be socially connected. We should be responsible user of the technology. Then it will be. And one more on what I found. Actually, we have in IT and all, it is a different type of fraternity. Whereas for an organization like us, we have different levels of people. We have very lower level people, middle level, high level, and all. Work from home and all, some of them it would be very difficult. Even let me also tell you, for women workforce, I remember the COVID time, it's not crowd to discuss that. Even then I was telling, for example, somebody living in 1 BHK or even a smaller house, women, they don't have a workplace to work from home. It is a very sad state of affairs. So they asked us, actually, why don't you call us back? Then there are a lot of other things. If they are in a joint family, there the life of a normal woman in our society is a lot of things to improve. So therefore, we have to be socially connected. We should understand the social fabric of our entire thing. Then only we should talk about how advanced the technology is, how to effectively use the technology, etc. This is you are too young to understand this. Please don't bother about all those things. You please carry on your dreams and all, then only it will get materialized. But I am telling you the facts. It is not hidden. If you open your eyes, if you open your ears, you will see much more facts than what it is seen in the technology era or a social media or in the wonderful Instagram post and all this. Beyond that, there is life.
So, sorry if I can add something, Nitha. So, to that point, right, sir, in our office, there is a mix of, age category of students, but, employees. So, people who are, who asked me, last session in our office, few people asked me, how many days you work in a day? That's because, there was a quote from our Mr. Mahindra, right? To work 70 hours, 80 hours. So, they were just asking how many days you work. L&D. So I said, I managed to come 5 days because of the reason that sir said. Because sitting at home, I can work. Thankfully, I have a work, office and all that. But I get distracted. I have 2 kids. I am proud mother of 2. So I cannot, sit at home and, not distracting myself work. So I come to office 5 days. These kids who were asking questions, suddenly, I said, okay, 5 days. Their response was, no, how do you manage to come? That was not the question. They asked me, why do you come? Why is the question. If you can manage your deliverables without any impact in 3 days, if your counterparts, because given that IBM is a metrics organization, you will have people whom you report to sitting in China, Germany, may not be in India. So they are all fine with it. When they come online, these people are online available for calls. The work is not getting affected. So why do you come all 5 days was the question. So there are people like that. But there are people who also agree to the fact that, like me at least, sitting at home, you cannot give your fullest to your work that you do. So there are mix of people in the same generation who have understood the technology in way it has to be. And there are people, like I said, the proliferation, going with the crowd, going with the pace. Because organizations, the speed to market, concept, right? Because of the pace that you are in, to adapt the technologies and, go with the flow, there would be a lot of, influx of informations that comes to you. But how to prioritize those informations, decide yourself, what is best works for you. And there are, when we get into discussions like moonlighting and, doing multiple jobs, etc., but it is a different topic to discuss altogether. Maybe we are not giving ideas to those people too. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So as said also, previously, actually, when I completed my higher secondary, I was very interested to learn Max actually. So I joined the first group, Max. I planned to join BSc degree. So when I joined the first, my sir said, "This use computer era. When you complete this and go, your work will be computerized. So if you don't know computer, you will not get any job." So when I gone home and I told my mom, sir said like this, so he's telling me to change the route actually. So immediately 1 week I was in the Max session, then I quitted and I joined computer science. And I thought, okay, my future will be in computer only now going forward. So it's similar way now, it's an AI, Gen AI and RP, everything is coming. No, now when I previously my kids used to come and ask me doubts when I go home. Nowadays, they are not coming on asking me. So suddenly I thought, what happened? Why they don't have any doubts or what? So what they do is they will take my phone, they will take Meta A, they will take their doubts, they will clear from there itself. They won't come and ask. If they used to tell me like, if I go and come and ask you, if you are wrong, then my teacher will scold me. So why should I depend on others? We can use our phone and use that actually. So nowadays, like kids as well as everybody is using, are completely depending on phones. And now the thing is like whether the AI will replace us, what will be the future? But it's not like that. Like when computer came, actually there are new things developed, like a software development has come. And like we are, there are many apps which has come, which has automated our job. So when AI comes also the same thing, like many things will get automated, but there will be the things which AI has not able to do. That is the thing we have to innovate. So I think AI will be, when AI comes also, we have to think more what AI can't do, and we have to do that, I think. So from audience, if you have any doubts from your side, you can clear it from the expertise. So if any doubts.
Actually, can I add
Yeah,
a
sure.
quick anecdote to that part? How many of us know who John Maynard Keynes was? Keynes, anybody knows? Google kar lo. This is not a closed book test, right? So John Maynard Keynes was one of the key economists who defined how countries act like businesses. You know, countries have GDPs, we do trade, and that's how India earns money, that's how US earns money. So Maynard Keynes was one of the economists who defined that in 1930s. Now in the paper that he published, and I'm not joking, you can actually go and check it out, or get a summary from ChatGPT, which is what I would do. The paper that he published, he says, by the year 2000, people will only have to work 2 or 3 hours in a week, because there will be so much automation, so much that we will all have leisure and we will only have to have fun. And then society will become great, because everybody will have leisure and we will only be working on art, right? How many of us actually work 4 hours a week? Nobody does. So a man who was so smart that he could define the planet's economy, the economic system of the entire planet, right? Through various automations, through various innovations, we still don't work 4 hours a week. If anything, we're actually working harder than we used to work 20 years ago, right? So everything, whether it is AI or anything, if the last 100 years on planet Earth are any indicator, the trends indicate that you will still be employed and you'll be working, whether it is from home, from office, with AI, without AI. So buckle up. Yeah. Get that.
Thank you so much. So, is there any questions from the crowd? I'm pretty sure you might be wanting to ask many things, because like AI has been instilling a kind of anxiety amongst the crowd, because like everybody is saying that like the AI will be automating and the like AI will be taking up the job role. So, and I guess this was kind of like, like some breeze over that scorching sun. So, anyhow, any questions from the crowd? Do any of you want to ask something? Yes, Irma? Yes, please. Can we please pass on the mic? Let's do this.
So my question is to Sir Balakrishnan. So are you planning to bring AI to your company, the Geojit company? I wanted to be a part of it lately. So do you think of bringing AI? Then how did you bring from the villages into the market? It's a great question, right?
We work in the capital market. So this is basically for those who have investable surplus. So that is point number one. Second is AI. We started exploring the AI facility, especially on research, fundamental research, technical research, and all, of course, certain kind of a redundant job to replace, etc. We have now, with the two universities, we signed up an agreement. A few students are working with us. We have also taken consulting from, not from PwC, but similar organization. That is going, no one can avoid AI. Let me also tell you that only thing how to make use of it and how effectively we can use it. In capital market is a wonderful domain to use AI in multiple areas, in financial planning, in financial advice, robo advice, all those things. Similarly, we have large amount of data. Therefore, a lot of inference you can take and learn, the AI tool can learn it and give beautiful inference to investors. So this is what we are actually trying. I'll also tell you a small example what we have done recently on a, we have something called a systematic investment plan, SIP, which is actually normally this is salary class or the regular income people, they used to invest through SIP route. These SIP, they are panicked when the market has some impact. Then immediately either they stop or ready, which is actually a counterproductive activity. So we were actually traditional way we were trying to educate, but with the AI actually we started predicting what is his behavior, and then accordingly we give a small note or something like that. You should not think like this or something like that, which we are seeing small success in that. So there are many areas where we can actually work on. On the village, there is no difference between human intelligence in urban area and rural. Please don't think that urbans are more intelligent than rural India.
No, sir.
It is not like that. They are much more intelligent than, I am from a village, so I am proud of that. I am from a village. The intelligence they have is much more, the opportunity they lost. That is what actually, there is intelligence is common and it is great. How farming is happening, how they are predicting wind, how they are predicting climate changes without any kind of resources. They will say tomorrow there will be a rain. So this is what is happening. So they, if you can provide with the solution, irrespective of financial market or human resource or anything, they will give much more productive output than all of us. That is why I believe, and I am vouching for that, and we are working on that. I definitely, if you can work with us, we are grateful to you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. So I guess with that we could conclude the session because yes, it is the time. And thank you so much once again to our eminent panel of wonderful speakers. And now may I humbly request our moderator, Ms. Nitha Shashi, to kindly hand over the token of appreciation to all our panelists. May I humbly request Sri Balakrishnan A, the Honorable Executive Director of Geojit Financial Services, to kindly accept a gesture of appreciation from our end. Please, sir. And Nitha ma'am, kindly do us the honor of handing over this token of respects to Sri Balakrishnan sir, and everyone, let us put in our hands together. Thank you so much for reinstilling the belief in the intelligence of the rural area and like also encouraging our youngsters. Thank you so much. And now may I humbly request Mr. Shaurya Agarwal to kindly accept a gesture of respects, please. Thank you so much for highlighting that we would be needing more and more teachers on the upcoming era, and like there is that gap that we need to find out. Thank you so much, sir. And now Ms. Sarika Nair, can you kindly accept our memento of respects to you, please. Thank you so much for joining with us and highlighting how the people's perspectives affect their choice on working remotely or at home. And finally, may I also request the professor of the Jain Team to be University, Ms. Anu, to kindly do us the honor of handing over this token of appreciation to our wonderful moderator, Srimati Nitha Shashi, for having seamlessly navigated through this whole session. And now may I humbly request And I may humbly request all our panelists along with Miss Anu ma'am to kindly join together for a group photograph. Let us always treasure this moment. Let us immortalize this moment, and yes, let us all give a brighter smiles. And thank you so much, everyone. So we are now taking a lunch break, and we will be meeting again exactly at 2 p.m. I humbly request all of you to kindly be here by like 1:45 p.m. if you could kindly manage it, because we have an interesting keynote session on the AWS solutions for the future of technology. Thank you so much.